So John Cena turned heel tonight. It happened. I can't believe it happened. WWE Elimination Chamber 2025 is in the books. We just spent the last 3.5 hours watching it together. And now we're going to spend the next hour reviewing it together because holy crap, John Cena in a move that I did not think WWE would do. This came up to me a week or so ago. I started seeing a lot on social media. I'm getting DMs about it. You guys have brought it up in the chat. What if John Cena turns heel, Greg? Hey, good mic work. What if John Cena becomes the corporate champion? And my response was, I would love for that to be the case. But the problem is, John Cena is 61 years old, and he's paler than Sheamus. And this is his retirement little swan song right off into the sunset. I feel like we missed the boat in 2013 on a John Cena heel turn. I just didn't think it would be something they would do 8 months before he retires. I mean, well, I guess he's returned heel now. I thought maybe his heel turn would happen at Mania. He's already turned heel here in the beginning of March, so he's got 10 months left until he retires, essentially. And he's going to go out as a heel, and I found that very difficult to believe for a couple of reasons. Like, John Cena, after that whole career he had as a good guy, going out as a piece of shit bad guy, I would get a huge kick out of. It just didn't seem like something that he would want to do or WWE would want to do for his legacy. Plus, Triple H, since taking over as Booker, I think has done a great job, and he's a lot better than Vince McMahon, but he ain't perfect by any means. And he still has issues, you know, especially in the women's division and various other aspects. And one of those things that I've noticed about him is he tends to be kind of conservative with stuff, and we haven't seen him do anything super crazy yet. But I would argue what we saw at the end of Elimination Chamber tonight with John Cena turning heel and attacking Cody Rhodes is the biggest heel turn since Hulk Hogan joined the NWO nearly 30 years ago. A heel turn like this, or a shocking move like this, or segment, is something that we only get a few times per century, you could argue. And so, sure, we've had some big moments, some shocking moments, shocking title wins, shocking returns, things like that. Those are all over the business, right? But when it comes down to just, you know, pure shock, a lot of people, you know, maybe had this on their mind or in the back of their mind, but did any of us really think that they would do this? We talked about it in 2 or 3 podcasts about this possibility, and I largely dismissed it. So I was wrong about that. But guess what I wasn't wrong about? Tonight's pay-per-view. Once again, your boy was perfect in his predictions. Every single match right, including the segment with Cody and The Rock, because we knew Cody would say no. But I predicted Bianca, I predicted Trishi and Tiffy, I predicted Owens, and I predicted John Cena. And I predicted Cody would tell The Rock no. So if you don't mind, let me just Barry Horowitz myself real quick, because I'm good at predictions. But I did not see the John Cena heel turn coming. Plus, you know, yesterday it was, there was some like BS spoiler going around, like it was a spoiler. I'm like, the show hasn't been taped, so there's no such thing as a spoiler. You know, regardless of what you've heard, nothing is going to happen until it happens in the ring. So this spoiler that was all over the internet yesterday about Drew McIntyre winning, I'm like, why is everybody treating this like it's a spoiler? This is one dude who heard one thing. That's it. Why is the internet running with it? And then there's other people scolding others. How dare you put that spoiler on the timeline? I'm like, it's not a spoiler. This is some fucking dude who just heard it. That's it. Just like me or anybody else that has any sort of a following, you know? We all hear shit. So to me, that wasn't a spoiler. I'm like, I like the idea of Drew winning. It would make sense. They've left some evidence in a breadcrumb trail, you know, insinuating that it might be him. So I was all down with it, but I wasn't considering it a done deal at all. And John Cena, you know, winning, one of my biggest issues with the Cena and Cody match prior to tonight was that there was just going to be a little bit too much respect, too much love. And that's all out the window now. None of that matters. Now you've got a heel, an evil John Cena, teaming up with The Rock, of all people, to be his corporate champion. Cena has sold his soul to The Rock. And those two together is going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. Cena is going to add so much to The Rock. You know, like, because Rock is just out there by himself. I'm already over it. And we just started WrestleMania season. So having Cena out there and hearing him speak, I thought he was going to get on the mic tonight when he continued the attack on Cody. Instead, he just bonked him in the head with the microphone. But I'm going to be interested to see how that is. I can't wait to see how they book this. And now I think you can do, since Cena won, like I said, you can do a little bit of Cody's build on both shows. And that's what I think WWE is going to want for their top match at WrestleMania, is for them to build that on both shows. If McIntyre won, he's SmackDown exclusive. I don't see any way for them to get that build over to Raw. Why would you do the contract signing over there? That wouldn't make any sense. But with Cena kind of being on what he can do whatever he wants to do, and I think he's on Raw. I don't know, but he's on Raw sometimes. So I think that would be a lot easier to achieve over there with Cena and The Rock kind of doing whatever they want, and Cody and those guys have maybe a segment over there. I would be into that, and I think that's probably going to happen. So I'm really interested to see how all of this looks on TV after this. And now we've got a really interesting WrestleMania. A lot of people were complaining about maybe the build hasn't felt as strong this year, but I think this idea, I don't know when it came together. I don't know. I have my serious doubts that when John Cena announced his retirement last summer, that this was the plan. If I had to guess, I would say no. This is something maybe they just came up with, and Cena's like, all right, I'm game. Let's do it. And I think that we've got some potential here now. This should be a really interesting Mania build, a really interesting Mania match to see how it all goes. And what this means for John Cena in his retirement run. I mean, this might be something personal to him. I want to give it a good run as a heel. I know he was like kind of a heel a little bit there in the Thugonomics in the early days, but that was 23 years ago. So, I mean, for him to be a heel now, I think can be fun TV. And I got to give major credit to not only John Cena, but WWE for having the balls to do this, but for John Cena, who's just months away from hanging it up. And he's going to do the biggest character transition that he's ever done. The heel turn that we all wanted to see after WrestleMania 29. In my WrestleMania 29 predictions and build, I just kept talking about how great it would be for them to do something like that, since it's the same main event we got in 28. And if you do the exact same match with Cena winning, I think that's going to fall flat on its face. And it did. The fans hated that. So, and I didn't like it either. So I felt like back in those days, they had a chance to do it and Cena would have printed money, and they didn't. And I kind of made peace with the fact that it was never going to happen. It's not going to happen now, not in 2025, not when Cena's about to retire. He's not going to turn heel now. I dismissed everybody that brought this up to me. I'm like, no. I mean, and I had said I like the idea. I'm not against the idea. I just don't believe WWE would do that. And plus, I didn't think Triple H was really that wild of a booker. He seems to be kind of on the conservative side, and he hasn't done anything super nuts. So this is going to be, the big angle so far of Triple H's regime, is that they had the balls to turn John Cena heel, albeit at the very, very, very end of his career, but they still have done it. And I'm excited to see where it goes. So I'm interested to hear all y'all's thoughts here in the chat. I'm going to do my best to answer as many of these super chats as I can. But I feel like first we need to review the show a little bit. But let me know what you think about the show overall. This closing segment, I think, automatically makes the show pretty memorable. And this is going to go down as a pretty monumental night in the business. And is the closest thing we've seen to Hulk Hogan joining the NWO. Is what we just saw 20 minutes ago. And that's crazy. So we're all still kind of processing it. I'm still kind of processing it. While we're doing our processing, do me a favor. Smash that thumbs up button for me if you don't mind. If you're watching this right now, you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because it's WrestleMania season. We're going to be up here a lot, and it's going to be a fun next few weeks. So I'd love for you guys to join us for our podcasts, for our watch-alongs, for our reviews, for our special episodes, for our shorts, everything that we're going to be doing during WrestleMania season. Please make sure you click that subscribe button. Super chats are open. I will answer all of them, as well as memberships. However, I think we just need to keep talking about this show. We need to just talk about these matches and, talk about the show in general. But it really, really finished strong. Nothing that we saw up until the Sami and Kevin Owens match to me was that great. I thought the women's chamber match was weak-ish, but not bad. The tag match was fine with the women. But then Kevin Owens and Zayn really turned it on. And we had the return of Randy Orton as well. So very memorable night at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Canada. 38,000 and change was the attendance for tonight's event, which is more than I thought. I think they had only sold about 30,000 about a week ago. So they tacked on a few extra thousand ticket sales there, and it was a really good-looking crowd. And overall, I enjoyed the pay-per-view tonight. I did. So why don't we start at the beginning? Why don't we start at the Women's Elimination Chamber match? And again, we watched the pay-per-view tonight, so I'm kind of going by memory more than anything else. But the chamber match was Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. So everybody comes out there. And the two women who are going to start the match are Liv Morgan and Naomi. And one early complaint I was talking about this in the watch-along earlier, is that WWE spends so much time telling us what a sadistic structure the Elimination Chamber is, how violent, how dangerous, how career-changing, career-threatening it is. And they sell it as if it's a fearful structure. They always have. But as the women are making their entrances tonight, Liv Morgan is chewing her gum, flicking her hair, and she's just all smiles. Naomi comes out and does a 15-minute fucking dance routine to get in the ring. When the match started and it was Roxanne Perez's turn to come in and her pod opened, she jumped up and down and clapped. And so I don't want to give the women shit because I love the women's division. I love the women's wrestlers. But if you're going to present this chamber, which I hate, I've always hated the chamber. Those of you who've been watching me for years know that I'm not a fan of this match concept. I think it's stupid. But there's nothing I can do about it. So I just try my best to accept it. So, the chamber is supposed to be so dangerous, but yet the women don't look like they're taking it seriously. Like in those early days of the chamber, the wrestlers would come down, they'd look at it, they'd touch it, they'd shake it, they'd kind of look a little timid, a little nervous. Not these women. They're out there in full-on dance routines before this very violent, brutal, and career-threatening match takes place. So if I have one little pet peeve or one little critique of the women, stop looking so goddamn happy to be out there. You should be scared shitless. Plus, if you're not scared, at least be serious. You don't have to be terrified, but you shouldn't be chewing gum and happy and jumping up and down and clapping, because not only is this a dangerous match, there's a championship match on the line at WrestleMania, the show of shows, against their top women's star in Rhea Ripley. You should be game facing that stuff, man. So that was a little silly. I didn't like any of that. So the two who are going to kick it off are Naomi and Liv Morgan. And right before the match is about to start, we hear Jade Cargill's music hit. Jade Cargill is back. We've been wondering when she's going to turn up. And I almost knew immediately that when she came out, she was not going to attack Liv Morgan. I was calling it when she was in the dugout still. I'm like, she's going to attack Naomi because Naomi's in the ring. But when her music hits, Naomi kind of turned back and looked at Bianca, and shit, man, if they turn John Cena heel tonight, how foolish would any of us be to be foolish enough to say they're never going to turn Bianca heel? Guess what? You can't say that now. You can't say that now because they just turned the ultimate babyface heel. So nobody is above turning heel at this point. And I've been advocating for a Bianca Belair heel turn for many years now. So maybe this is something that can still happen because Bianca was in the pod when Jade attacked. So maybe Bianca is still involved in this. Maybe it was her and Naomi. And maybe Naomi would have gone after Bianca, but she couldn't because Bianca was in the pod. So all she could do was get to Naomi. And Bianca was saved. So that is a possibility still. But at this point, we've already got the big Cena heel turn. Maybe trying to do Bianca at the same time might not. Maybe you don't want to do that. So I can chill on the Bianca heel turn, at least for now. So Jade attacks and just destroys Naomi. Jade looked awesome, by the way. Even Alexa Bliss got an eye full of Jade. And you could see Alexa being like, damn, who's this? Who's this thing? So that was kind of cool. So Jade annihilates Naomi. Officials come out, EMTs, everything. They neck brace her and wheel her off. She's eliminated just like that. So it turns out to be, I forgot who got in the pod next with Liv Morgan. And if I'm trying to remember the order of elimination here, I don't, to be honest. It might have been Bayley that came in next or whatever. But what it comes down to here is who wins. And I thought it could be, Alexa Bliss because, she could use maybe the Wyatt Six stuff as mind games against Rhea Ripley. So I thought it came down to Bliss or Bianca. But what I did like is the little interaction we did get between Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss. And I think it was Morgan who eliminated Bliss. Do I have that right? I think. Or vice versa. But I liked the fact that we had an interaction with them there, because that tells me one thing. I think Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez will defend the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. That's what they should do there, since it looks like Alexa and Liv might be starting a little thing. And I kind of like that idea of a feud between those two. So I also feel like WWE might do a big multi-women tag match to cram as many women as they can into a match. But I would just like it one-on-one straight up, or two-on-two straight up, Liv and Raquel against Alexa and Nikki. I feel like that's going to be the match that we're going to get there. But in the end, it came down to Bianca and Liv Morgan, right? Liv Morgan, who a lot of fans had pegged to win this thing. And I think Liv Morgan has done an excellent job. But I was in the past year, but I was very surprised how many people were picking her to win, because I just didn't think for WrestleMania that they would give us another match that we've seen a bunch of times on pay-per-view recently. Not something I would want as a fan for WrestleMania. A lot of people point out that Liv deserves it and shit. I don't care. I don't care who deserves what. There's a time and place to worry about who deserves what. But when it comes to my WrestleMania card, I like to be selfish, and I want to get the card that's going to most interest me. I'm not too interested in who deserves it for WrestleMania. Other pay-per-views, I might worry about that. WrestleMania, I don't care. I want to be given the best possible card. Why? Because it's the biggest show. You would hope the Super Bowl has the two best teams from each league. Sometimes it doesn't, but wrestling, luckily, you can script stuff. So I would like the best possible card, regardless of what kind of a year Liv Morgan has had, to give us yet another Ripley and Morgan match, and to do it at WrestleMania. I think you can do better. And I think that's why Liv Morgan won the tag team titles on Monday, to ensure that she will have a spot on the WrestleMania card. And she is in no way, shape, or form being treated unfairly in WrestleMania. She's just not going to be in a title match this year. Not a big deal. Bianca gives you the better match, I think. And one of the issues I had with Cena and Cody is kind of the same as Bianca and Rhea Ripley. As much as I wanted this match a year ago, WWE didn't do anything throughout the year to make you think that these two were on a collision course. They were in completely separate orbits, different universes, doing different shit. Not even like the pay-per-view teases backstage where they run into each other, or they don't tease you at all. And so now I feel like they're throwing this together. Some fans feel like it might be a triple threat, because after Bianca's victory, as she's leaving, Rhea Ripley joins her in the aisleway, and so does Io Sky, who has a title match against Rhea Ripley on Monday night. So the winner of Ripley and Io will face Bianca at WrestleMania. But at this point, as much as I love Io, I don't want her to be left out of the WrestleMania card. And I definitely think she deserves to not only challenge, but win a championship at WrestleMania. The selfish part of me wants Bianca and Ripley one-on-one. But maybe you save that. Maybe you do Ripley and Io and Bianca, and you save Ripley and Bianca for next year or something, where you can do it not only one-on-one, but do it in the main event. Then I'd be okay with Io Sky, but I don't know how you get to a triple threat on Monday unless Bianca Belair turns heel and shows up and screws up the match, and then Io gets added in. Aside from that, even if it's a double count out or something, none of that would justify putting Io Sky in the WrestleMania match. Even if it's a no contest or a count out or a DQ or something, run it back next week. I don't think it would be justified to put her in the Mania match as a triple threat. So the Mania match as a triple threat could be good, but what's the point? I'd rather just see one-on-one. So Bianca Belair got the win. We'll see if she is in fact going to go into Mania to face Rhea Ripley, or if it'll be Io Sky, or if it'll be both. And a completely unsurprising finish, Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus did defeat Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Not a bad match, actually. Trish looked amazing for 49 years old. She's going to be 50 in December. And she looked great. She still got it. She can still move around that ring pretty good. She can still do her shit. And I thought all four women did really good for that match. I mean, it's a match that you could have easily done on SmackDown. But Trish there in her hometown, I thought it was nice. And it didn't bore me to death. Everybody did great. And I'm still just very impressed with Nia Jax in this run. She's been doing great for the last year or so. After that, we got that unsanctioned match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and boy, oh boy, was this fucking shit stupid. So because it's unsanctioned, they covered up the turnbuckle pads to cover up the WWE logo on the turnbuckles. But there are WWE logos surrounding the entire perimeter of the ring on those LED boards. At one point, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were brawling on the outside, and you had 4, count them, WWE logos surrounding Kevin Owens in the camera shot. but yet they've covered up the turnbuckle pads. They also turned the lights down. Ooh, turn the lights down means it's unsanctioned. The referee had to wear a black shirt. So they covered the turnbuckle pads, turned the lights down, and made the referee take off his WWE logo shirt. Meanwhile, both guys come out to their WWE themes, full-on theme music, entrance, and the whole nine. They are WWE logos everywhere. They get the full-on WWE intro from the WWE ring announcer. WWE announcers call the match. And later on, when the referee gets bumped and knocked down, two other referees run in with WWE logo shirts. So the whole unsanctioned thing is just stupid. And I was laughing so hard at these just arbitrary lengths that they've gone to make it feel unsanctioned. I'm like, you would have to, like, I don't know anything about legal or whatever, but legal stuff, but you would have to like sign a waiver or something if WWE, like if you still have a WWE match and a WWE ring on a WWE pay-per-view, unsanctioned or not, if either one of these guys get hurt, I think WWE is still going to be on the hook for that no matter what. So it's just stupid. So anyway, it's an unsanctioned match, just gave them a chance to brawl a lot, which put them in the outside or in the ringside area. Sami Zayn put Kevin Owens through two beautifully set up snack and beverage tables, which was kind of nice. And the two of them were kicking the crap out of each other. And it really got gnarly when Sami Zayn pulled out the barbed wire steel chair and wound up bashing Kevin Owens a couple times with it. Owens got drop toe hold onto the chair, and he hit the chair pretty hard. When they showed the replay, you saw his face smack it, and he was favoring his eye. And his eye looked kind of close. So I think he might have gotten poked in the eye or something on that. I hope he's okay. If he's not okay, eye patch Kevin Owens could be super fun TV, could it not? So at least we have that to look forward to. But Owens got taken out by that. But in the end, he was able to completely obliterate Sami Zayn on the outside of the ring. He put his head in the chair and then rammed it against the steel ring post and then picked him up and did it again. And then he picked him up and hit him with an apron bump power bomb. Picked him up to hit him with a second apron bump power bomb, but he botches it. Sami fights back. Owens lifts him up and hits him with the second one for real, throws him in the ring and pins him 1, 2, 3. And Owens, because of Sami's already injured neck, did a number on that with the chair. And Owens got the win. And in my predictions, I even did one better. In my predictions, I said that if Randy Orton comes back, he won't come back in the match. He'll come back after the match and attack Kevin Owens. And that's exactly what happened. I kind of also predicted Karrion Kross to get involved here, but he didn't. But I got the Orton stuff right. And after Owens beats Sami Zayn, he's leaving the ringside area. Officials swarm in now because Owens wants to go back to continue the punishment on Sami Zayn. And I was saying it during the watch along. I'm like, we should hear the voices any minute now, any minute now. And then finally the music hits. Randy Orton's music plays. He comes out. Kevin Owens is back in the ring now. And Randy Orton RKOs him and knocks out Kevin Owens. And then he goes for the punt. And we were calling for the punt. He backs up, and he's got Owens all perfectly there in position, and he's going to go for the punt, and then the officials swarm in and stop him. So that should now put us on our path to WrestleMania for those two, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And maybe, you know, if we're going to get a Hell in the Cell match on this card, I thought maybe Owens and Sami could have a Hell in the Cell match. Maybe it's Orton and Sami Hell in the Cell at WrestleMania. I think you need another one on a WrestleMania because the last one we had was Edge beating Balor, and WWE needs a new one, I think, to for the purposes of video packages and whatnot. So I think Owens and Orton, Hell in the Cell, would be fitting considering Orton lost a lot of time due to the package pile driver and the injury and all that caused by Kevin Owens. So if that's what they did, I'd be in favor of that. So I think we're on the course to that. And that left us with the men's Elimination Chamber match. It's John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, and CM Punk. Everybody gets their entrances, and the two men to start the match were Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. And McIntyre got eliminated pretty quickly. He was crucifixed up by, I think, Priest, right? And just like I said in my predictions, I felt like I was dismissive of these two guys, and I kind of regretted that today. I'm like, I should have given Drew some more thought. But in my predictions, I'm like, nah, Drew and Priest will cancel each other out. That'll be your Mania match, and that's pretty much what happened. Drew, I think, got kind of rolled up in a crucifix there, but then he came back and claymored Damian Priest before he left, which led to Priest's Elimination. So those two guys were gone, and it was Punk, Cena, Seth, and Logan just a few minutes in to that whole ordeal. So now we've got our final four. Next one to be eliminated was one of my favorite parts of the match here, was Logan Paul. When you watch back the sequence between Logan Paul and CM Punk that led to Logan Paul's elimination, it's the same finish of Double or Nothing 2022 when Punk beat Hangman Page for the championship. I was there for that match, and it was Punk countering the buckshot lariat, right, and spinning around and doing everything to get him up in the GTS and hit him with it, and it was virtually the same thing, and I kind of like that kind of callback to that match. So Punk pinned and eliminated Logan Paul, leaving us with the three that we should have had all along. CM Punk, John Cena, and Seth Rollins. That was the final three. Now I'm trying to remember when it got down to the final three, was it Rollins who was eliminated by Punk, right? No, Punk was eliminated. Oh, yeah. Punk was eliminated by, Rollins was eliminated by Punk. That's right. I had trouble remembering that. So Seth Rollins winds up getting eliminated by Punk, which did surprise me. And that left us with our final two, John Cena and CM Punk. And I'm like, sweet, I've been waiting for this. We got Cena and Punk earlier in the match, and I kind of like these two interacting. So Punk pinning Seth and eliminating him was pretty surprising to me. I thought the next time those guys kind of mixed it up, it would be Seth getting the win. So Punk wins, and I'm like, okay, great. So I'm so focused on Punk and Cena being the final two that I don't notice that Seth hasn't left the ring. I know the camera wasn't really showing him, but maybe some of you or people at home noticed it. I didn't. So as Punk is over in the ropes, Seth comes out of nowhere with that stomp and nails Punk. And I'm like, holy shit, that really took me off guard because I thought Seth was already gone. So Seth stomps CM Punk, and that allowed Cena to take advantage of that. That was our first clue right there. That was our first clue that, Cena taking a shortcut, even though it was a shortcut he didn't ask for. He took advantage of that shortcut, So Cena immediately locks Punk in the STF, and I think Punk just passes out, and Cena is your winner, and he wins the Elimination Chamber. So I'm like, okay. And I said earlier in the night, I said the winner of the Chamber is going to have to be involved in the main event segment here with Cody and Rock. So Cena gets the win. He's celebrating. And out comes Cody Rhodes. And so we're just going to bleed right into this final segment with the Rock and Cena and Rock and Cody, with Cena being in the ring for this too. So Cody comes in, him and John Cena share a nice little handshake, of course, and then out comes the Rock. And so you knew something was up here. Cena being in the ring to me was a lot like the Mark Henry stuff, and I saw that turn coming from Mark Henry, because to me it was just, I'm like, what the fuck is Cena doing there? So the fact that Cena didn't shake Cody's hand and leave the ring was making me suspicious right off the bat. And the whole time during Cody and Rock interacting, Cena is standing behind Cody. So my eyes are on him the whole time. I'm like, this guy's going to turn, man. So we're just watching, and The Rock tells Cody, he says, I want your soul, I want your body, I want you to be my champion. He goes through all that bullshit again. And he says, if your answer is yes, then you'll be the biggest American dream or American nightmare you can be. Whatever he said. You're going to be the biggest star in the history of the universe. But if your answer is no, tonight is where the dream dies. Again. And the motherfucker already wrote the date of Dusty's death on that weight belt last night. And I'm like, the nerve of this asshole, And so there was no way Cody, as much as he tried to kind of fool us with his response, we knew what it was going to be. And he goes, I no longer am in possession of my soul because I gave my soul to these fans long ago. And then he told The Rock no. And John Cena's happy about it. And he's like, yeah. And I'm watching Cena. And then Cena and Cody come together for a hug. And Cena's looking right at The Rock, and his face just changes. And I'm like, oh, shit, we knew it. We knew it. The minute John Cena's facial expression changed, I'm like, this is it. And nut shot to Cody. John Cena takes out Cody, beats the shit out of him, busts him open, I think wails away on him with the weight belt and the whole deal. And watching Cena do that, watching Cena as a heel methodically dismantle Cody viciously, selling his soul to The Rock. Because when he made eye contact with The Rock and The Rock just went, and that's when he knew. And then boom, the night, because Cody doesn't see any of this. He's not seeing Cena's face or The Rock's face. This is all behind his back. And then Cena nails him, beats the absolute crap out of him, leaving Cody bloody as him and The Rock just admire their handiwork. Great stuff. Great stuff. I'm so glad we witnessed this. Better late than never. I dismissed the idea of John Cena turning heel only because I didn't think WWE would do it. Doesn't mean I didn't want to see it. So every fan that brought this up to me, I'm sorry for saying, no, your idea is probably not going to happen, because I didn't think it would. This is not how WWE usually does things, and it's not how Triple H really operates. And I'm just glad to see that Triple H has this in him. Yeah, let's do something crazy. Let's turn Cena heel. Because what this means to me is that anything is possible. You know, there was a few things that I was starting to lose hope on. You know, Cena's never going to turn heel. Bianca's never going to turn heel. I think all that's out the window now. If Cena can turn heel, anybody can. And it is going to be weird to see John Cena be a heel in his final year. And the fact that this is the way he's going out. It's just going to have to be like a Shawn Michaels type of thing. The way Shawn Michaels was a heel for like 4 weeks and then back to a babyface again in 2005. I think at the end of this run for Cena, there's going to be some little thing there, some sort of a acknowledgement. Like Cena's going to go, you know how like legendary players sometimes sign a one-day contract with their former team so they can retire as a member of that team, you know? So maybe at the very last week of TV or something, Cena's like, thanks guys, something I always wanted to do. That, you know, he's gonna have to break the fourth wall, pull back the curtain, but who cares? Curtain's already pulled back. And just thank the audience and say, you know, thanks for letting me do that. I've always wanted to, you know, and I'll see you guys later. Otherwise, he's going to be booed out of the building as he leaves while people are throwing trash at him and stuff. That's going to be the final sight of John Cena in the business. Dripping with irony, but hard to wrap your head around. It really is. But I will say this. I'm excited to see now how this progresses now that we're into Mania season now, and what The Rock and John Cena's vibe is going to be like. Can you imagine these two guys traveling together? The Rock, John Cena on The Rock's plane and shit, you know, in their limos. If they're going to have scenes from a restaurant where they're just like having these lavish dinners and, you know, just living it up and just being the biggest assholes they can be, that could be quality television. It really could. And now with CM Punk, should bring him up. With CM Punk being stomped by Seth, one thing that I think that solidifies is that we're probably going to get that triple threat now that I didn't really want to see. But I can give the triple threat a pass now because of the Cena heel turn. So if it's got to be Punk and Rollins and Roman, with Rollins taking out Roman at the end of Royal Rumble there, which kind of essentially knocked him out of the Elimination Chamber. And then here, knocking out CM Punk before he has a chance to really face Cena and beat him to win the Chamber. He gets stomped. That's now taken away from him. So that's Seth taking that opportunity away from two people. So that could be a heel turn for Seth in a lot of ways. So it could be Seth and Roman and Punk. Here's another question I have. What about that favor? How would that favor even play in now? Because now that Cena is a heel, I feel like bringing Punk into that is almost isn't necessary. A lot of us were under the assumption that when CM Punk did this favor for Paul Heyman, that favor would have to be repaid back, and it would probably be WrestleMania related. So I don't know how that favor plays in now with all of this, and it sounds like CM Punk, who recently just said, all of a sudden, main eventing WrestleMania isn't that important to me, probably because he knows he's not going to main event WrestleMania. So now it's suddenly not important to him. But I think that kind of pushes him out now of the main event possibility. I like the idea of Punk and Cody, but I think there's so much there with John Cena and The Rock. If you add Punk to this mix, it's not necessary. You can get enough out of what you got here. So I don't think Punk is needed in the Cena and Cody stuff. Punk is probably going to be working with Rollins and Roman in a triple threat, or maybe Rollins or Roman one-on-one. Or maybe Logan Paul. They had an interaction. Punk did beat Logan Paul tonight and eliminate him. Maybe it's Punk and Paul, but I'd rather have Punk and Rollins, Punk and Roman, or Punk, Rollins, and Roman. And it feels like that's probably what they're going to do now. We will see. It would be nice to get Bad Bunny involved in the Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest stuff. Maybe Priest and Bad Bunny can take on Drew and Logan Paul in a tag team match or something. That would be fine with me too. Who knows? But that was kind of your Elimination Chamber in a nutshell tonight. We're still processing the John Cena heel turn. We're not going anywhere, by the way. I got a million super chats to answer here, but I kind of wanted to talk about this while it was still fresh in my mind, and maybe some of these super chats will help us elaborate on some of what we saw here tonight. But for the most part, I'm glad that we got to witness history. And I'm glad that I made the right decision because of everything going on with me. I've had a lot of like doctor appointments and stuff going on with me lately. So this week I had to make a decision. Either not go to AEW Dynamite on Wednesday or go to Dynamite on Wednesday and miss Elimination Chamber. And I'm so glad I'm not at work right now. And I'm here, and I was here to watch it with you guys because I'm glad that we witnessed history together. It's always cool. John Cena turned heel. Something that I never thought would happen. March 1st, 2025. Cena goes heel. Holy fucking shit, man. Whew. Wow. It happened. It happened. And John Cena, when he held up the belt there, with The Rock. And by the way, Travis Scott sparking a J in the corner. That's what we're doing. I think that's awesome. But my, how times have changed. 2006, Rob Van Dam had to abruptly end his WWE title run for sparking a J in his car. Now you can do it in the ring on pay-per-view. I like where our world is going. Nice. All right, guys. Well, let's do some chatting here now, shall we? I have got to go back and do the original super chat feed here just to make sure I'm getting everything. Oh yeah, there's a bunch here. All right, just bear with me here. Bear with me. I'm going to pull them up over here. It's probably easier. All right, let's go into our supers here and start knocking these out. You guys have sent so many, I have to go into a completely different feed to read them all. There we go. Trying to find the last one that I read. All right, Zayn G, thank you again for that $50 drop earlier. Chris Ludek. Wow, we're way back. Holy crap. Okay, so I got to go way back to you, Chris. Earlier, you sent that $5 in while the match was still in progress, but there was so much going on, I needed to wait. Or when the Cody Rock segment was going on. But thank you for that. Excellent storytelling in the chamber, and this Rock angle definitely has me interested, but the Mania build has still been kind of lackluster. Well, that was still when the match was going on, right? So not anymore. We have seen a giant shift that should make the Mania build a lot more interesting now. Colin Wright wants Corporate Stardust. I did read that one earlier. Uncle Donk, thank you so much for the 5. Most shocking heel turn since Hogan in WCW? Yes, that's what I said as soon as it happened. It's definitely the biggest heel turn since then, for sure. Hey, bro. Tito was messing with my camera. Jesus, man. Tito stepping on wires on his way out. He was, you guys still see me and hear me, right? Okay, we're good. Damn, Tito. Watch your shit, man. Tito says hi. But yes, Uncle Donk, I said the same thing as soon as that heel turn happened, that this is a, several times in a century type of angle and heel turn, and we got one tonight. I'm glad we watched it together live. Stone Cold 10X, 5 more from you. Huge Cena fan, mind blown, but love it. Haven't been this shocked since Austin and McMahon shook hands at Mania 17. I guess since that one, I guess I shouldn't say Hogan and the NWO. I think Austin and McMahon is similar. And what's funny about that is that heel turn is going to last about just as long because Austin was babyface again by the time we got to December of 2001. So that was a pretty short-lived heel turn for Austin. But I kind of forgot about that big moment at Mania. So that's up there too. But Austin had a much longer career as different characters and heels and babyfaces. He was heel and babyface in WCW, heel and babyface in WWE. John Cena being 20 years plus straight of just nothing but a babyface makes this a lot bigger of a deal to me than WrestleMania 17. 7th season, thanks for the $2. What a way to get Cena heat for going heel. Hell yeah, beat the shit out of Cody. It worked. Plus teaming up with The Rock, I think those two together Could be a lot more fun than even Roman and Rock together last year. And it seems like Roman and Rock are going to be in separate universes for WrestleMania. It seems like they're going to be doing completely separate things. I'm not sure if they're going to cross paths or not during all of this. I mean, what if we get Cody and Roman versus Rock and Cena? Holy crap. That could be fun too. Zayn G, 5 more from you, my friend. Thank you. Does this mean everyone goes full LeBron heel with the burning of the merch? That would be cool. See a bunch of little John Cena kids burning their t-shirts and whatnot. I mean, I think a lot of people who did grow up on him and liked him as a kid, are older now, so they probably are liking this. And the fans that were older and that hated, his character was geared towards kids are probably a little bit older and mature now to where maybe even they're a little bit hurt by this. So this is, a lot of people are going to have different thoughts on how they feel about it. I love it 100%, but maybe not everybody will. There's going to be mixed emotions, and that's good. That's what you want. The new one, what's up? Thanks for the 5. Holy F, that heel turn exceeds Hogan to the NWO. It might for me too. In both cases, you kind of saw him coming a little bit. Cena was standing behind Cody a lot. I was thinking, what's going on here? Hogan coming out, Bobby Heenan kind of made it obvious. And then when Cena kind of looked at The Rock and The Rock did that, you knew before Cody knew. So that was one thing that's different. And I do like that. I like it when the audience knows before one of the wrestlers. And with Hogan, it wasn't like that. Everybody saw it happen at the same time. So Cody found out last. And that was really excellently done, I think. 7th season, thank you for 5. According to the storyline, that's how Cena entered the chamber without qualifying. Now it's coming together. He wasn't on SmackDown last night. That was one of my complaints about Cena when he first came back at the beginning of the year. I'm like, if he's not all in on this, if he's going to be a part-time or showing up sometimes, what kind of retirement run is this going to be? So this makes more sense now for him just to kind of show up when he wants, qualify for or get into matches without having to qualify for them. Punk called him out last night on SmackDown for not being there. Everybody was there except Cena. So they gave us clues. They definitely gave us clues. I think it was just me having a hard time of believing they would do it. And I'm glad they did it. Stone Cold, 10X, 5 from you. Cena said best for business at Rumble like the Authority. Pretty much. Let me know, are they doing any sort of scrum or media or press conference right now? I'd like to see how all that's going. Yellow is Cool has $5 for us. Thank you, man. His retirement match could end like at WrestleMania 18 when Hogan and The Rock made up after the match. That is true. I think that would be a good way to maybe do it because I wanted Cody and Cena to wrestle in his retirement match. That was the match I had pegged. And I thought if Cena won the championship this year, then he could drop it to Cody at the end of the year. And now with John Cena teaming up with The Rock, I think Cena's going to win the title. I was all for Cody retaining if it would have been regular John Cena. But with John Cena and The Rock together, it's going to be hard for Cody to overcome that. I think Cena wins the title. I don't think you do this if you're not going to have Cena win the title, Cena turning heel is like Hogan turning heel. Hogan had to win the championship in 96 after joining the NWO. He had to. So it's the same thing here with John Cena. He has to win the title at Mania. And I'm probably going to predict him to. But good point. WWE fan, thanks for the 5. I'm not usually like this, but does anyone else think Cena hate heel turn? Does anyone else think that Cena heel turn is 10 years too late? I think CM Punk would have been the better option. I mean, that's the way I kind of thought. I thought it was too late, but it's done. Now I want to see what happens. So obviously, Cena, we would have all loved it if he turned heel in 2013 after WrestleMania 29 and not a month before WrestleMania 41. But this is what we got. And the way it was executed and pulled off, I thought it was great. So if this would have fallen flat or if it wasn't done well or something, maybe I'd feel differently about it. But I thought the whole thing was done brilliantly to close out the chamber tonight. So I'm on board with it. For sure. I'm not getting any alarm bells sounding off for me. This all looks really good. Ryan Adams, thanks for the 2. Welp, Triple H has his NWO Hogan monumental heel turn. He does. Triple H will be the guy that had the balls to do it, and Vince McMahon talks about his grapefruits, but apparently he was a huge pussy. Ryan Y, thank you for the 5. I'm only 25, so it's probably the best heel turn in my lifetime. Yeah. Just hope Cena will appear more to build up his storyline. Well, that's what I was saying. Now he has an excuse not to. Cena's going to be on TV a lot leading up to WrestleMania. I fully believe that. But when he's not there, he's got the excuses that he's living it up Hollywood style with The Rock. You know, they're in downtown Los Angeles, going to all the hot spots and hobnobbing and doing their thing. So I think the two of them can be really fun together. If John Cena coming in a suit, no more of that bullshit that he's wearing. We're going to get John Cena in a suit. We've seen the last of Fruity Pebble, John Cena. I don't know how corporate Cena comes out there in jorts. That ain't going to happen. He's going to be dressed. He's going to be looking good. Armani suits and stuff. It's probably what's going to happen. Jay Boba, 28. Thanks for the 5. Best heel turn since Hogan. I agree. Although I live in LA, I wasn't planning on going to Mania. After tonight, I'm going on Sunday. Nice. Glad you're going. Mania suddenly got a lot more interesting, didn't it? Uncle Donk's got 2. I think I like Cena now more than he turned. A lot of people probably will. I'm really excited to kind of gauge the temperature of social media on this. Seeing what people are saying. So far, I have not looked at it at all because we've been on camera this whole time. Thanks for that, Amato. Thanks for that, Justin. Some people are tweeting screenshots of me. Surprised. I'll probably put up a short on the Cena heel turn tonight, so keep a lookout for that. My God. All right, who's next here? Who is next? 7th season, $2 from you. Who would have thought the BL story would lead to this? The BL story. Oh, Bloodline story. Yeah, I wouldn't have. This isn't where I thought it was going last year. Last year after WrestleMania, we had all sorts of ideas for this year's WrestleMania, and this wasn't on my bingo card at all. Ryan Adams, 5 from you, my friend. Well, that match with Bray Wyatt at Mania 36 where Cena wore NWO colors, Bray looks so right now. Yeah, I liked how Cena came out. That was the closest thing we ever got to a Cena heel turn, was him coming out in the NWO colors. My God. Tomas Aridia, thank you, man. Thanks for the $9.99. I will use that to buy my WWE Network this month because that's the price it is. I don't know if you heard. I'm 30 and I cried in horror because John Cena destroyed my childhood. The most unbridled emotion I've shown as a fan since I was 8. Man, wellness check on Tomas Aridia. Bro, hope you're all right. Yeah, I guess if you're 30 years old, you were probably the right age for a lot of his early stuff. And my heart is with you. I loved it. I loved it. I hope there's a lot of those 30-year-olds who the 8-year-old inside of them are also showing unbridled emotion. I hope it's rough on y'all because that's good. I want you guys to be emotional. I want you to think about your childhood and think about all those memories. And that thing that a lot of us had to do who are older that had to see heel turns happen, years ago. I love that when you have a heel turn like that, that will have that much of effect on a chunk of someone's life because Cena was this character for 20 years. So there's a lot of 8-year-olds who are 28 now, who are wrestling with this. Welcome to my world. Now you know how I feel when Savage went to WCW and Brett got screwed. That was really, really hard for me because I'm like, man, that's my whole wrestling life right there, those guys. And now they're both working for a company that I can't stand. What do I do here? It was rough. It was rough to wrestle with that. And I like when wrestling can bring up so much emotion, especially when you get older and you've been watching this for 20, 30, in my case, 40 years. And so much of this occupies so much of your life that when something like this happens, there's a trickle-down effect on how, it affects you. And that's what makes wrestling so great, So I loved all that. I loved it all. All right, we've got more supers coming in. Juliet is gifting Ken Maynard commentary membership. Thank you so much for that, Juliet, for shelling out some memberships tonight. Super Fluffy Toasters in the house. Thanks for the 5. How about some new music for Cena? What about Bad Bad Man, old cheesy song of his, but actually fits really well? Yeah, shit. I mean, maybe they could do the Thugonomics. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm assuming Cena's going to have a new look. I didn't think about the theme music. He could have all new theme music. Everything could be new. Now, okay. Wasn't there the story of Cena's heel turn being planned way back in the day? And they actually recorded Cena heel music? Am I remembering that right? Can you dust that off and use it for Cena? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Zayn, thank you for bringing that up. I almost forgot to bring that up. 5 more from Zayn. Would you say that "Go Fuck Yourself" by Cody Rhodes is better than when Christian said it to Cope? Ooh. I'm going to go on a tie because I really liked Christian and Cope's. I did. I'm not going to lie. But this one was great. The fact that Cody Rhodes said it. And that's what I was kind of saying the same thing, wasn't I, in recent episodes? I'm like, Cody should be telling The Rock to go fuck himself. And so he did. I was kind of getting annoyed that Cody didn't tell him on Raw, didn't tell him last night. Like, you don't dictate when I give you my answer. I'm going to give you my answer when I want to give you my answer, and I'm going to give it right now. No, go fuck yourself. I would have said that on Raw or SmackDown. But doing it here at the pay-per-view, he landed that pretty well, and I'm glad that they let him say it. And then Michael Cole was pretty pissed off. I can't believe this shit, or whatever he said when Cena was beating the crap out of Cody. So I like the emotion, and I like when wrestlers would talk like how they normally talk. Like last night, for example, CM Punk with the great insult on Seth Rollins. You look like an oven mitt. If this was a real life situation, you would say, you look like a fucking oven mitt. But he couldn't say fucking because he's on USA Network. So I like that this came off a little genuine, and Michael Cole did a great job selling this whole thing. You think about, and I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to it and rewatch it. But one thing, it's a weird comparison, but one thing I want to compare is Michael Cole tonight to like Shivani in the NWO formation. I think was it Shivani, Heenan, and Dusty, right? So like I want to hear the two commentary teams and how they sell it and see how Michael Cole measures up to those guys back in those days, because this was a big moment for Michael Cole too. And he was definitely pissed off. Zayn's got 5 more. Would you say? Oh, no, I already did that one. Sorry. The new one is here with 2 more. Or is he really retiring? You would think that Cena's got 3 years of this in him, Could you imagine 3 years of that? That would get old. Or is maybe he sticks around? The last time is now. Maybe it's not. That did cross my mind. I guess we'll know. Because I think he'll kind of address that, This is my final year, and I want to go out on top, and I want to go out as the biggest star ever, and I want to break Ric Flair's record, all that stuff that The Rock can give him. So he's probably still retiring, but something to think about. 2 more from Ryan. Cena has finally become the New York Yankees. Yeah, finally. Jesus, took him long enough. We've got 5 from Michael Cuomo. Thank you, man. Tom Ford suits would be better for Cena. Most of those suits average $8,000. See, I don't know shit about suits. I hate suits. I will not wear them. Don't like them. I don't have any expensive clothes. I just don't give a shit about fashion. I'm going to dress in a t-shirt and some pants and pretty much everything I do. I don't have any other desire to do anything else other than that. Unless I have to go to a wedding and I have to rent a tux or something, I'll do that gladly. But I don't got no nice clothes because I hate nice clothes. I think they're stupid. Ben Richardson, thanks for the $2. Why, John? Why, John? I don't know. There's a lot of, I guess probably late 20s would be the age, right? Late 20s would be the age right now that you would be if you were young enough to like Cena. Because I think anything like 16 to 25-year-olds, they were just rabid P&V. Just full of anger and rage and pent up little fucking virgins. So just endlessly mad at John Cena. But a few years younger than that, if your age is 8 to 13, you probably like John Cena. So if you're 28 years old now, you're right in that sweet spot. You're right there to be the perfect age to like him. And when half the fans cheered him and half the fans booed him, you were the ones cheering him. So I have a lot of empathy for those fans who might feel genuine emotion over this, maybe genuine disappointment, feeling like part of their childhood has died. You have any idea how many times I have been there? So I like that it's happening to other people because I've experienced that a lot of times in my life, so many times, especially with the deaths, sometimes somebody dies and I'm like, well, fucking just a quarter of my life just died, and so that's always just really hard, so seeing it happen in a wrestling storyline and angle is a lot better and more fun than a death. So the fact that there's fans tonight going through what I went through as a fan countless times over the past 4 decades, I like that. I like that. Yellow is cool. Thank you for the $5. The WrestleMania 17 turn done right. Cena is so desperate to break that title record before he goes out. Didn't make much sense for Austin to align with McMahon. It did not. To the point where the fans that night at WrestleMania 17 just thought McMahon turned babyface. They were cheering the hell out of all that. So they had no idea. It's like they couldn't, I'm sorry, what now? Turning him heel in Texas? Jesus. WWE fan, thanks for the $2. What's CM Punk's favor? We don't know. I'm assuming that they're still going to explain that. But putting Punk in the middle of prior to Cena turning heel, before we got to the Punk and Cody segment, when Seth stomped Punk, I'm like, oh, okay, that could be where the favor comes in. Because Punk got screwed by Rollins and didn't get a chance to beat Cena, and Cena just was able to STF him and win. So I was thinking if Cena was going to win, it was going to be babyface Cena against Cody, then Punk could cash in that favor since he got screwed, get added to the match, and then Punk would join The Rock. But now that Cena has turned heel, I don't think the favor is going to get Punk into this match. I don't know what the favor is going to be. The favor might be cashed in after WrestleMania. It might be just a title shot favor. Maybe Paul Heyman gets him a title shot against new champion Jey Uso, and Punk wins the World Heavyweight title at Money in the Bank from Jey Uso or something like that. I don't know. But it sounds like Punk's favor, if it's going to have any WrestleMania implications at all, it's probably just going to have to be in the triple threat with Rollins and Roman, I suppose. Ryan Adams has got 5 for us. Cena just showed up at the press conference, picked up the mic, dropped it, and left. Nice. Oh, man, I don't have an eye on that press conference right now. Is it on the cock? Probably is. Yeah. Oh, no, it's not.
It was an amazing.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Lisa, is it? Sorry. Denise, sorry. Too much tequila.
Is he answering he said, Lee, is he answering a question from Denise right now? I don't know if it's the same Denise, but he called her Lisa, which is funny. All right, so Rock's at the table there. He's got a tequila. He's got some reposado there, I think. My God. Let's see. Who's next? Dre, thanks for the 22 months of membership, my friend. What if this leads to Cena Cody double turn? How would you do that, though? It's a title match. How would you double turn them? You'd have to... I just don't see that happening since they're wrestling each other. If it was Cena, if it was Cody and Punk, maybe Cena could come out and help Cody win or something. But maybe in the future, Cody turns heel as well, and you got a 2-man power trip. But we don't have much future. We only got 10 months, and Cena's done. James, you agree with me on fashion? Yeah, I have no reason to. If I have to dress up and clean up, I can wear a nice shirt, but it's just like I'm simple when it comes to that. I don't really give a shit about how I look, because I look fine. So none of that really bothers me. So I don't really care about getting all done up nice and pretty. Not anymore. Shell Shock, thanks for the $10. Been a John Cena fan since I was a kid. He was the first wrestler I got emotionally invested with. He decides to break my heart before he hangs up the jorts. He's truly the GOAT. Well, I'm glad you're taking it well. Hopefully everybody who grew up with him takes it as well as you are taking it, Shell Shock. So my God, Domo 97, childhood gone. A lot of people's childhoods are gone. Pardon me for just sitting back and kind of enjoying you guys going through this, because it's good for you. This builds character. You guys need this. This is what some of the older fans have been through time and time again, and I'm glad that there's a portion of the wrestling audience tonight that's really struggling emotionally to wrap their head around this. I love that. I love it. I hope you don't get I hope you don't get a wink of sleep over this, because there's been many sleepless nights for me too, a few times in the past, with final things that I've seen on a pay-per-view, and then I have to try to lay my head on my pillow and go to sleep after that. It's hard. And so I'm glad that I'm not going through it, but other fans are. I know that sounds terrible, but I'm happy about that. Oh, what a night. All right, well, I think that's going to do it. We're going to wrap it up here. But you ain't done seeing me. We're going to be here the next 2 nights. Tomorrow night, we're going to be watching WrestleMania 9. The link is already up on the channel, so give that a like and save it for tomorrow. We'll be up here at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific to watch Hulk Hogan steal the title from our great and wonderful champion, Yokozuna. Also, we will be here Monday night to watch Raw, because now that all this has happened, we got to see what is next as Tito lets out a big yawn there. So we're going to have to see what's next for everybody on Monday night. So we'll be here Monday, and we'll be here tomorrow night for the watch along. And I want to offer a sincere thank you to all you guys for hanging out with us tonight. It was a great audience for most of the watch along tonight here. And at the end of the review, I want to thank everybody who hung out with us. It was a blast. We'll be doing it tomorrow for a classic, watching WrestleMania 9, and we'll be up here doing a watch along and review for Raw on Monday. So enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy wrapping the rest of your head around this. I'm going to do the same, and I'll probably post some reaction content here in the next day or two as well. John Cena is now a heel. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight, and I'll be catching you tomorrow for WrestleMania 9. Peace.